So with the hustle thing, or where I'm at now, which is different than, the reason I'm gonna answer this twice is I'm about to give you advice, I'm about to give you insight to someone who has a large audience, and I'm aware that most people don't. Today it's easy. You know, when I said tonight I'll spend an hour, I will. Now, I may go into trending topics and read a trillion different like news outlets and look at my stream and see if there's anything happening. Or I might just spend, which happens way more often, the entire hour reading all my DMs. And in the DMs is where I got by the way, I had no feelings towards 8th place trophies 9 years ago. I really was indifferent, genuinely. I just didn't think it was a big deal until I read a million comments from 22 and 23 and 24-year-olds and got more insight to why so many people are so scared to fail and started to backtrack and have conversations. So today, my friend, to answer your question, it's because unlike the far majority of my contemporaries who are fortunate enough and earned enormously large audiences, I've doubled down on being close to them instead of the reverse. You know, most of the people that have made it from a following standpoint either gave up on reading the comments when it got too much or never really did it in the first place. For me, it's how I got there. By the way, a lot of people don't know this. The real way the Garyvee thing happened was when Twitter came out and like started really hitting in 2007. I spent 10 hours a day on it talking to people every day. I actually spent 4 years straight not going to sleep until I replied to every tweet and every email I got from 2007 to 2011. So I got here this way, and so now it's easy for me to keep a pulse on it because it's coming to me. For everyone who's trying to build it, I still think the way to do it is to join into the conversation. Meaning, I think too many people think they need to consume it without participating. So going on X/Twitter, going into an Instagram post where there's content and then replying to 3 or 4 people that are replying to it, I don't think we network or engage or conversate enough. And now it's incredibly impossible because politics on both sides of the aisle both sell fear in different form. And now everyone's scared to talk to everyone because everything, and next year's gonna be a mess because everyone's gonna be on tilt because it's a presidential election and nobody wants to deal with all that negativity. You feel like you're not even sure you could say anything and it becomes something that people wanna fight about. And so it's really unfortunate.
My current dream is to go back to Ukraine after the war and be part of rebuilding the country's economy.
That's awesome.
And I really want to go into venture capital field.
Okay.
I currently do not have any real network in America because I came back to America after the war began, and I'm trying to expand my network at the moment.
Makes sense.
And I've been trying to do cold calling, emailing, LinkedIn messages, but I haven't been really getting a lot of replies. I was wondering if you have any advice to what could be.
I have huge advice. So the issue with cold calling and cold emailing and LinkedIn is, and by the way, I'm a fan of it. The problem is you're asking, right? This is a very simple game out here. It's a game of someone asks and then there's the other person on the other side of it. And the other person on the other side of it, depending on how often they get asked and depending on how they see the world, the likelihood of them reciprocating is quite low. So I'm a big believer of not being in a position where you're asking and don't have the leverage. I believe in the reverse, which is why I'm so passionate about content on the internet. You want to be a venture capitalist. Okay, I understand theoretically why, but the question is, do you have anything to provide in value, right? And so I believe the answer is yes to everyone, but I think you need to put that out there. Here's what I mean. If I'm you, I'm putting out content on LinkedIn about your point of view on how to invest in startups, what you see in startups, what you see in small businesses. I would do history work and look at the 2, 3, 4, 5 most recent examples of countries that are in post-war environments and how that ecosystem was built to build it back up, right? What happened in the former Yugoslavia after what happened in the mid-90s, and make content around your pattern recognition that you saw what happened in Serbia and Croatia post-war and how that worked over a 25-year window and how you see that playing out in the Ukraine. I promise you that if you had a thoughtful strategy like I just articulated to you, like I just talked about the former Yugoslavia, that you would catch people's attention if you posted 20, 30, 40, 50 times. Not to mention, you'd have something to put in your email when you're cold calling, right? And you're cold emailing. So for everyone in this room, I'm stunned by how many people leave it to chance and luck and referral. The reality is the ultimate referral right now is the ability to post content anywhere for free. It's free. LinkedIn doesn't charge you to post and get people to see it. So if I'm you, I go heavy on the attack. And don't be scared, because the issue is everyone thinks they have to be an expert. You just have to be an enthusiast. Let me say this slow, because this is huge. Most of you are not posting about something like this that you want because you realize internally you're not educated or you don't have strength in it. That's irrelevant. Meaning it'd be wonderful if you did. It's definitely good, but if you have the humility to communicate from a point of view of enthusiasm or subjective point of view or hypothesis, we've just taken so many words out. Everyone thinks they have to be an expert or a guru. That's silly. As a matter, when I started my business journey, it was, these are the things I felt naturally. Are they right? And over time that built. And so you can go with like, look, here's my truth. I'm from this place. Here's what I sense. And by the way, a lot of people will value that from being from that part of the world. There are tons of American businessmen and women who know that they don't have the context of the area, but might see the opportunity and may need a liaison or a decoder or a translator. So you don't have to act or fake the funk. You just need to tell your truth of what you see and what you know about your people. And I think you need to post that. Otherwise, you're reaching out to people that get, do you know how many cold emails I get a day? I have 3 full-time employees just to delete them. And I'm weird and answer some of them. And I like it. So, I think the reality is you have to put yourself in a position. The way when I researched tonight, I may hit up a random kid in Alberta because I like what she or he said about something I'm paying attention to. Put yourself in a position for them to come to you instead of asking them. I think the biggest thing that will have an impact on you being able to achieve what you want is you need to start right now, which is what every person in this auditorium wish they did at your age. You need to start in realizing the most important truth in the world, which is you need to figure out how to start loving yourself yesterday. You need to figure out my man, the world is gonna be very good at telling you what you're not good at. What you need to focus on is realizing that you're good at plenty of things. You might have not found them all, but that you're a good person and you have good intent, and you really have to work on that. And I promise you, especially at the age you're at right now, pay attention to the friends that you hang out with. You need to figure out if they make you feel good. And if they don't, even if they're the most popular or the coolest, you need to cut them out. If your friends do not make you feel good, they are not your friends.